Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. Welcome everyone, it is Friday the 13th. Literally, it is Friday the 13th right now. And now, I have never actually had a particularly bad Friday the 13th. And being somebody that would love to have a superstition prove to be true, then maybe, just maybe, my lack of bad luck on Friday the 13th is my bad luck on Friday the 13th. Now, strangely enough, we had all of our bad luck last night. For those of you who were with us, last night was an adventure. we started with last minute repairs of jazz that weren't ready by the time that we started on camera. We broke toys on camera. We transformed the wrong toys, not knowing which ones they were, and then to top everything off, it ended with our internet going out and the live stream just coming to an abrupt silence. And I know that might be a relief for some of you, but nonetheless, I didn't even get to say bye to people. So yeah, I'm hoping that all of that bad luck is now behind us and we can explore Friday the 13th in earnest here. But first, let us welcome some people here, and in honor of Friday the 13th, I have a Crystal Lake iced tea, and that's what I'll be drinking tonight. You know what? You know, that tastes like it's got a little bit of blood of horny teenagers on it. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm picking up. Notes of bloody blood from horny teenagers. Yeah. Yeah, you can taste the pheromones. So yeah, I'm just gonna set this over here because it kind of makes the drink sort of top heavy. So let us welcome Kyoji. Kyoji, I'm always glad to see you. Thank you for showing up. A toast to Kyoji. And a toast to Ty Guy. Great to see you, Ty Guy. Love it when you're here. Machiavellic and Amanda McKayo. Welcome. And we have announcements after this, so a toast to both of you. Joy. A toast to Joy. A toast to Colleen. Hey, Colleen is here. Thank you for joining us for Friday the 13th. And, I'm gonna get a contact high from that machete. Oh yeah, that's right. All of those kids were on drugs. So yeah, this is probably laced with cocaine and pot. I feel like those are the two drugs of choice for kids that get killed in Friday the 13th movies. Yeah. They say you should never lick your knife because it's apparently uncouth. But you know, it just seems to come naturally to me. Not that anybody has anything to worry about that, but I'm sorry, Mummy. So, it actually has iced tea on it, but nonetheless. So, yes, we have our Crystal Lake iced tea, which has a Sackhead Jason and Beast Wars Megatron. A toast to Monica, and now everybody. I need you to raise your glasses and throw out an extra toast to Amanda McKayo. Today is Amanda's birthday, and so we are celebrating it here on Retrobot. We have we have our thing. So Amanda, if you can get really close to the screen and just blow really hard. Tell me when you're blowing. Okay, I'm trying. Let's see. Wait, here. We'll get the flame a little bit closer. Oh, look, Amanda did it! Amanda did it! That's awesome! Yeah, probably some acid, Joy. You are correct. So, and let us all sing. Wait a minute here. And I'm just going to apologize in advance because I don't actually know how to play this. But we're going to do it anyway. Everybody, we need to sing to Amanda, and I need help here. Can somebody, preferably somebody who's a little bit homicidal, come help me sing? Oh, Ashy Slashy, thank you. You're gonna help me sing to Amanda? All right. So here we go. All right, key of G, I think. I don't know. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Give me a second here. Happy birthday, dear Amanda. Happy birthday to you. No, get away. Thank you, Ashy Slashy, for helping me. And thank you, Retrobot, for providing me with self-defense. So, there we go. Happy birthday, Amanda. And here, I'm gonna try and pass this to you over, through the camera. You just kind of take a big bite. There you go. Oh, look, everyone! Amanda got a bite of cake! That's awesome! Good job, Amanda! Okay, I know that was a dumb gag, but it's Amanda's birthday! We gotta do stuff! And oh, thank you for sharing, Amanda. Yes, I would be glad to eat the rest of the cake. So, yeah, that's awesome. Alright, so we are here. It is Friday the 13th, and you got to hear me do a terrible job of playing the ukulele. And speaking of terrible jobs on the ukulele, let's look at tonight's secret word. That's right. Whenever you hear me say this word, then I will drink. So, yeah. My playing sucks. Oh, wow. That just... Oh, I brought the handle. Okay, so it's got a big handle here. And apparently this handle is just the right height to press the mouse button and click on the other camera view. And yeah, we can go to that other camera view so that you can see what we're going to be talking about tonight. We are going to be talking about Friday the 13th and things related to Friday the 13th in all sorts of interesting and kind of bizarre ways. But it actually does hold together. So stay with me because this will make sense. I'm not going to say that it makes good sense, but it makes sense. And Nate and Sean are here. So, a toast to Nathan Fillion. And a toast to Sean Shago. Welcome, both of you. You missed the singing. I'm sorry that you missed the singing, but you know, there won't be any for the rest of the... I'm just telling you right now because this doesn't have nearly enough booze in it to cause me to sing a second time on camera. So, but I am getting a sugar high from Amanda's birthday cake. So, alright, so, like I've said, we're talking about Friday the 13th, and some of you may know this, but for the rest of you who do not, Transformers and Friday the 13th movies exist in the same universe. And I did not make this up. Now, a lot of the stuff that I pull out of this as the episode goes on is probably made up, but this is actually true. So, no, it's true. So, you have the 2007 Bayformers movie, with the epic and awesome Shia LaBeouf and a whole bunch of other very talented and amusing actors and ugly robots whose lines don't even make sense, but a cast of very, very entertaining human characters. And one of those human characters was a guy named Trent. Now, Monica has helped me out here by putting together a conspiracy board that helps make this make sense. And so you can see, so this is Trent, all right? This was Michaela's boyfriend from the movie, and he was the bro jock guy that was like, oh, my baby, don't be touching my car. And meanwhile, she's a secret gearhead because of course she is, and he's just not respecting her as a car enthusiast who is capable, because Michael Bay is very progressive in how he depicts women in his movie. I'm sorry, I almost got through that. I almost did. Yes, we are expected to respect Michaela while she's actively being used for objectification in the movie. But nonetheless, Trent is this guy. Now, he is played by this actor, Travis Van Winkle, which is a great name. I hear he's known to sleep for a very, very, very long time. It runs in his family. See, it's a Rip Van Winkle reference. And he was seen driving this black SUV, which they showed several times, and so that's supposedly Trent's SUV from Transformers 2007. And then Michaela dumps Trent, and then she meets Shia LaBeouf, which I'll tell you what, I would date Shia LaBeouf because he's amazing. And anybody who doesn't know that he's amazing, go watch Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf, because you will learn a lot about Shia LaBeouf, and every bit of it is absolutely true.
Just do it!
Just do it!
Nothing is impossible!
Nothing! Okay, I wasn't sure how many of those we were getting, but yeah, Shia LaBeouf is great. So anyway, so we have Travis Van Winkle in Transformers 2007. Now, Travis Van Winkle also plays Trent in the 2009 reboot of Friday the 13th, produced by Michael Bay. Now, supposedly, at some point, Michael Bay did say this is the same guy, and they show his black SUV. Same SUV, presumably, as the one from Transformers. Huh? Same vehicle, same actor, same character for Friday the 13th, the 2009 reboot. And then Trent, now this is where things kind of die off. Trent gets killed in 2009's Friday the 13th by Jason, and so that's the end of Trent. But now we know that the Transformers and Friday the 13th share a common universe. And I'm going to... Yes! Thank you. And now that we know that, then we can extrapolate that every Friday the 13th movie or work of fiction actually exists in a universe where there are Transformers. And I'm just going to stick by that because that is science, ladies and gentlemen. So let's hear one for science. So, also, there is one other thing. Wait, I'm getting a message. I know, and I was just about to touch on that. There is one other link between these two movies, and that is that neither of these were very well received by the fandoms that they attempted to appeal to. The reboot of Friday the 13th is not highly regarded by fans, and I remember seeing that movie and thinking, I didn't really like it. I seem to remember that, didn't they show this horrible gear mashing machine that in the end it strangles Jason? It strangles him. It's Chekhov's giant, unnecessarily deadly looking machine with grabby bits and pointy bits and pretty much a mechanical rolling maw, which was probably a Decepticon, now that we know. And in the end, it strangles him. How do you miss the obvious? It would be like if somebody made a Transformers movie where you had Megatron and he did not have a big freaking gun on his arm, and that just sucks. But I digress. So yeah, we have that commonality between the movies, and so to just further make the point that these two entities coincide, what we have here, we have Trent's SUV. This is a Sector 7 SUV, but this is obviously the same one that Trent was driving, or a similar model. But this one is actually Stockade from the Transformers 2007 line. And they probably just put the Sector 7 thing on here because they figured people wouldn't remember who Trent is. But really, this is Trent's SUV, and it's obvious to me that he was driving a Decepticon the whole time. And if Jason hadn't killed him, then Stockade probably would have. And so this is one of those movie toys, and this is an excellent opportunity to talk about some of those movie toys that I'm not usually as enthusiastic about. I'm not saying that the movies suck. But they might. Anyway, so this is Trent's SUV, and we're going to transform it here. A lot of these toys, you start by loosening things up. So I'm going to pop the hood apart, and that's going to be his legs. And I'm going to split the top, and that's going to be his arms. And we're going to pull up this panel in the back, and that's going to reveal the head. And then we can pull the front ends of the SUV back here, and we can pull the heels out of the feet. He's got kind of a claw foot design, and personally I like the claw feet because claw feet tend to make toys more stable when you're trying to make them stand. So I'm not going to complain about claw feet. And then let's swing these feet forward and out of the way so that we can rotate these panels up. And there's a hinge in here, and it's supposed to do something. And I don't remember what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to do, let's see. There's obviously a hinge there. Obviously. Oh wait, I think it goes back like this. All right, so So there, we're going to swing these panels back like this. And I will say that this joint here is very nicely, this is nice and tight. There's not a whole lot of big obvious gaps, so much so that I thought that it went the other direction. So, you know, kudos to the engineers for making a nice joint there. And then we've got the arms here, and there's just sort of a double joint here, and we can open the jaggedy alien hands, and you can kind of move the windshields out of the way. And so that is Barricade. And here, let me rotate the feet down. So there we have Barricade. And as movie figures go, he's not bad. Stockade. Yeah, not Barricade is the police car. This is Stockade. So yeah, that is Stockade. And as movie characters go, he's not bad. I'm not a huge fan of the proportions of the movie style characters. They tend to have the proportions of a He-Man figure, which we just happen to have the Savage Lands version. So let's go ahead and compare these. We've got the Savage Lands, or Savage World, the Savage World Jason, produced by Funko. And boy, these guys do not like each other one bit. You know, Stockade, I was talking about how I liked your feet because they're stable, but they are not. Look at how weak that hinge is. That is just really floppy, and it's getting on my nerves. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see if we can kind of prop it up with the back of the SUV there. There, that makes him more stable. And now, so we've got Savage World Jason, and we've got Stockade. And notice how they both have disproportionately large arms in comparison to their legs. Stockade, his arms reach down past his knees, and Savage World Jason, he's a little bit more realistic. He's super buff, and I'm very interested in how this works. He's got exposed rib cage, but his flesh is normal colored. In fact, if anything, it seems like he should get a little bit more sun, which I'm not sure how he wouldn't get a lot of sun, because he's like wearing like a little diaper. Oh, and he just killed Stockade. So I guess we're learning something about Transformers versus Jason, is that you put an average Decepticon up against Jason, and the Decepticon will lose. I wouldn't have expected that, but Savage World Jason has been kicking Stockade's sorry butt for the last 5 minutes, and I feel like that's probably that's like science again. You know, we've got realistic prototyping happening here, and we're seeing in real time what these scale models of actual characters would do, and Savage World Jason would probably be like, and there he goes. And you know, I'm sorry, Stockade. I didn't intend on killing you during this live stream, but you know, you're sharing the stage with a barbaric version of Jason Voorhees. Ty Guy is just commenting, Decepticons are in cahoots with Jason. Why else would the ignition system always fail when teens try to drive away? You know, that's an interesting theory. I'm going to challenge that for a moment. I'm going to agree partially, but I don't think that the Decepticons are so much in cahoots with Jason, because I feel like in order to be in cahoots with somebody, they have to cahoot back. And I don't think that Jason really cahoots with anybody unless it's his mom. That you've got, you had in Freddy versus Jason, Freddy posed as Jason's mother in order to get him to do stuff. But if Freddy had approached Jason himself and said, "Hey, Jason, you're good at killing. Can you go kill some children for me?" Then Jason would have just tried to kill Freddy, because Jason is more of a force of nature with mommy issues, and I don't think that he would cahoot with the Decepticons. But that doesn't mean that some bored Decepticons who are stuck hiding in vehicle mode, being forced by Starscream's orders or Megatron's orders not to reveal themselves, so they have to go along, aren't like, I'm bored here, I want to watch some teenagers die. And this is good entertainment. So I think that the Decepticons absolutely, intentionally did not start their vehicle modes, except for in Michael Bay's Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when they get in the police car, which was obviously just an earlier version of Barricade, and they run over the sheriff, back over the sheriff, and then run him over again. And I'm just gonna, you know what? We're starting early here. Everybody, I need you to back away from the TV or the screen for just a minute. Okay, just a minute. Michael Bay, come here. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna crap on you too much. I have given you a lot of crap because your take on Transformers is terrible. But I will say that your Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, that was phenomenal. That was a great movie. The first one, yeah. The second one was terrible. Did he do the second one, or was that? It was production, but he wasn't. He didn't direct the first one. But well, whatever the case, the first Texas Chainsaw movie that you were involved in was a masterpiece. It was absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to share a little bit of personal history here. We need, I wish that we had some love music, because the night that I asked Monica to marry me, that's our love music. The night that I asked Monica to marry me, I took her to see the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We were originally going to go see one of the Underworld movies, because the theater had up the poster, but they weren't getting the movie. That was really annoying. We thought they had the movie and they didn't have the movie. And so I said, well, we could drive another half hour, or we could see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, Underworld is supposed to be sort of a love story anyway. Horror romance. That would have been a little... That seems like it would have been appropriate-ish. But you know what? I have to say that I feel like it's perfectly appropriate that we went to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre the night that I proposed to you. So yeah. So, Michael Bay, thank you for your work on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I believe it or not, I don't hate everything that you do. I just don't like your version of Transformers, and I wish that you would have stopped much, much sooner. So,
we now return to
Transformers. Getting back to Transformers and Jason toys. So we've got the Savage World Jason here, and we also got the Savage World Freddy, because these two characters have been linked in the fandom for years. Even before the Jason versus Freddy movie, fans were screaming for these two to go together. And at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, which was not really a very good movie, the ending of it makes the whole movie, because at the end of the movie, you see Freddy's clawed hand grab the Jason mask and drag it underground. And at that point, fans are like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're gonna get this!" And then they didn't get it for a very, very long time, but they did get it. And I'm just gonna tell you something. Now, for me, I'm not much of a horror fan. I'm just gonna tell you right straight out. I'm not much of a horror fan, but when I was a kid, Nightmare Before Elm Street scared the living Nightmare Before Elm Street. That's sort of like the Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, that sucks. That's good. So, Nightmare Before Elm Street. Now I'm just going to own it. I've said it, so I'm just going to own it. I'm never going to name that movie by its proper title again. That movie, it scared the living hell out of me. And so, whereas Monica was much more of a Jason Voorhees fan, I was more a Freddy fan. And so when they finally came out with Freddy versus Jason, oh gosh. I mean, this was like the ultimate date for us. Now, granted, we had already been married for years by the time that we saw it, but we still date. At least we did when we were allowed to go places. But nonetheless, and I know I'm jumping around a lot, but Freddy vs. Jason was awesome. So let's just go ahead and go over to the side camera here, because we do have the Funko Savage Worlds Freddy here, and you can have him fight with Jason. Oh, he lost his glove. That's no good. Oh no! And yeah, I'm afraid that once again, Savage Worlds Jason seems to be killing lots of mothers in this live stream. So we're going to set Freddy aside and Stockade aside. And I know I'm going out of order here. There's, when you're doing a live stream where you're tying Friday the 13th toys to Transformers toys, things are going to get jiggy. I'm just letting you know it's still early enough for you to, I don't know, start playing Super Mario 2 and try to beat it. Or maybe just drink heavily. Yes, if you need to drink heavily to follow this live stream, then let's all get together and drink together, and we'll talk about things that don't suck. That's right, I used the word. Good on the throat. So, here we have from NECA Toys. This is the Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees figure, and I don't know why the Freddy hasn't come out yet. It should have. It should have, but this is a beautiful, beautiful figure. And we can take him out of the box, right? Okay, so, I mean, this is one that obviously we're taking a lot of care of. We've got beautiful screen art in the panel. We have some pictures of the figure here that look great. It's just a really nice package. And we're going to slide the tray out here. So here we go. And I will set this aside. And let's just take a look over here. So here, you can step aside for a moment, Savage Worlds Jason, and let's just look at Freddy vs. Jason from NECA Toys. It's got several different masks. We have the closest thing that you're going to get to a pristine Jason mask, a cut-up Jason mask, and a bloody Jason mask. And it's good to have those variations. And then you've also got a teddy bear because Jason loves his teddy. It comes with a machete and a bloody machete, and it comes with fire. So we can take the fire, let's set this down for a second, and we can put that on the bloody machete. And so now we have a flaming machete. Let's pull him out. And so, and I have to say, that scene where Jason catches on fire and just continues killing lots of kids, that is epic. I mean, that's what I love about the Freddy versus Jason movie, is that they took the essence of both of those characters, and without being like all fanboy about it, they celebrated the heritage of both characters and really nailed them both. My only complaint is they should have gotten Kane Hodder to be Jason. You know, Kane Hodder is Jason. And it's not that the guy who played the part in Freddy vs. Jason didn't do a good job. He was fine, but I feel like it should, you know, you don't get somebody else other than Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. Thank you, Robert Englund, to play Freddy Krueger. They tried that once, also a Michael Bay production. Sucks. And you know, it should have been great because it had Rorschach, and that guy is scary. But the movie itself just wasn't good, and he wasn't given real opportunities to be scary. Jackie Earle Haley, you know, he's an amazing actor. And I know that he could have been amazing in that role, but I just think they went in a direction that did not work. They were trying to take Freddy and make him just kind of deadpan and borderline sympathetic, but then, you know, it's like you spend half the movie with the teenagers wondering if he was wrongly accused, and then you find out, no, he's a child molester. And sure, Freddy Krueger, it's always been implied that he's a child molester. But here's the thing. They always called him a child murderer. He was a child murderer. People speculated that that was wink and nod for molester. But see, the thing is, child molestation isn't funny. And it's not fun, and it's not something that we want to go to a theater and root for our favorite villain who's, yeah, and that just doesn't work. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. He was a child murderer. So, and, my collar's doing weird stuff. That's because I'm enthusiastic. And it's Friday the 13th, unlucky collar. So you have these movies where Jason and Freddy are squaring off, and they do just an amazing job. I'm trying to get my camera to focus in. There we go. And the detail on this figure is really gorgeous. I mean, he looks great. He also has the zombie head, and that looks awesome. I mean, he's ugly. but he's really beautiful in how ugly he is. The deterioration on the clothing looks fantastic. His zombie hands are awesome. I mean, the only thing that I feel was missing from this incarnation of Jason is I miss the spiny bits coming out from Jason 7. I mean, full zombie Jason is where it's at. Am I right? Full zombie Jason with bones sticking out of his back, and then, you know, like the psychic girl splits the mask and tries to split his face, and I mean, you know, that was good stuff. I think that part 7 is my favorite of the regular Jason movies, and Freddy versus Jason is possibly my favorite. Just like first Nightmare on Elm Street, okay, scary and horrible and awesome, and then you have the first Friday the 13th where it's not Jason, it's his mother, and then you have the second one where you've got Bag Jason. And then it wasn't until, was it at the end of the second one that he picks up the hockey mask? The end of the third. No, beginning of the third. So beginning of the third, he gets the hockey mask. So it took Jason 3 movies just to get to the point where he's being Jason. And the third one is probably, you know, that's like, you know, you've got the kid that had the fat kid that was annoying everybody, and he dies, and then they kind of revisit that in was it the 5th or the 6th one, where it was actually the ambulance driver's illegitimate son. That was 5, and that doesn't actually have Jason in it because it's the ambulance driver who's trying to make it look like it's Jason. And Roy was the and so, oh, Tim Kangaroo is here! A toast to Tim Kangaroo! Thank you for coming, Tim! We are talking about Jason Voorhees and his inextricable links to the Transformers. And so yeah, but I feel like 7 is the best. It's at least my favorite, and then a challenger has appeared. Whoa! I thought that this wasn't out yet! Oh, this is part 2. Okay, so let's take a look here. We've got Nightmare on Elm Street part 2. Nightmare. I had a lot of tea, okay? This has the blood of killed teenagers in it who were high on cocaine. Oh, thank you. So, here we go. This is another NECA Toys, and the artwork is great. And here we go. We've got Robert Englund's Immortal Freddy. See, I can remember the name now. And we're going to take this out. And I have to say, I love the way that this is in the package. So here, let's go ahead and show Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy. The way that they've put everything together here is fantastic. With the creepy people dogs and him in his I'm bursting out, it's showtime kind of pose. That is Freddy all over. And you're all my children now. So yeah, that is Freddy Krueger in all his glory. Let's go ahead and pull him out. And we'll take off that because he doesn't need that. He needs the hat. The hat's important. So I need a bigger table. So wait, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. So we've got Freddy. And, you know, if you're not scared of Freddy, you need to ask yourself why. Because Freddy is just, he's horrible. And, you know, he's horribly scarred, and he's sadistic. And part of his character is that he humiliates you while he kills you. He makes fun of you and ends your life with you screaming. So, you know, that's just everything. And he's got an ugly, horrible Christmas sweater. I mean, that's the concept there is just brilliant, because everything is wrong about this guy. Everything is wrong. And so you have these two, and let's just see what happens if we put them together. Now, we know that Freddy's not a fan of fire for obvious reasons. And, you know, I kind of liked the fire-water thing that they did in Freddy vs. Jason. You know, it was a nice dichotomy, and it made sense. So yeah, we got, and we got, oh no, the accordion playing Jason fell over. This is the Jason Voorhees that recorded that hit song Nature Trail to Hell, which was about his own personal experiences. So yeah, this is accordion version Jason, and you can see him wearing one of his rare Hawaiian shirts, and with his favorite instrument of death, the accordion. So yeah, this is accordion playing Jason from Nature Trail to Hell, which was one of the best Friday the 13th movies, in my opinion. So yeah. So Joy says, Clay, are you ready for Freddy? Well, we are going to find out here, because we got Freddy and Jason. So we've got, oh, he seems to be dodging that. And can he get the, yes, he can get the, oh, and now he's really ugly, and he's kind of horrified, and another thing, at the end of Freddy vs. Jason, Jason kills Freddy with his own clawed hand. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. So, yeah, these are really, really great toys, and I want to pull out the creepy demon dog thing. Oh, but it doesn't want to come out. Oh, it's still tied in there. Okay, well. Okay, I'm trying to get this out, but there is the shortest twist tie in the history of twist ties. There's nothing to hold on to here. Has this ever been opened before? Oh! You haven't opened this yet? You got this just for this live stream? Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I thought that this was part of your collection. Okay, well, in that case, we can... Oh, wait, it's like a plastic thingy. Okay, it's not a twist tie. Well, I just happen to have something to cut that, so here, let's... No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Monica's like, no. Let's use the sissy scissors. I feel like I have lost my intimidation factor by going from this to this. So there we go. There. Okay. So now we can get the creepy demon face. I mean, look at that. That's terrible. Come on, camera. You can do it. You can do it, camera. It's right in the center. Come on. No, the camera's not going to do it. Let's just go to the other camera. So, look at that. That's hideous. Oh my gosh. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is not a great movie, but it does have some creepy stuff in it. And this is one of them. And this is nightmare fuel. I mean, that's what it is. That is complete nightmare fuel there. So, yeah, just here, everybody just take a good look at this and fixate on it for several minutes, and then just try to sleep tonight. Good luck, and you're welcome. So, so yeah, that's the creepy demon dog. We've got Freddy seems to be. Wait a minute here. Freddy seems to be on fire. I did not know that was going to happen. So that's good. And he's kind of used to being on fire. That's sort of his shtick. And then we've got, of course, Jason that just looks awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. And you can sort of, I'm not even sure what this is. It sort of looks a little bit machete shaped, but I don't think that's what it is. I'm not sure what that detail is. It's interesting and it looks cool, but I don't know what it is. So that is Freddy versus Jason with mask and machete and flames. And I'm trying to keep this stuff together because we don't want things to get lost. It is important that things not get lost. And we'll take his machete out of there, and there we go. All right, so I'll set that. I guess I could pass that over to you. And we do have a couple extra Freddy heads here, and I guess that goes on the butt. There's, I don't know. There's probably instructions for these. It does appear to just kind of fit like, oh, it's magnetized. It's magnetized. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. He's on fire. Oh, I'm on fire, bitch. No, I don't want to be on fire more. No, I don't like it. My fire fell off. Oh no, I don't like that either. My fire falls off. That's no good. So, side camera. So, we're going to keep him out. That's just not going to get old. I mean, on fire Freddy is best Freddy. That's just, here, wait, we can even do one better. Oh shoot, wait, here, we'll move up the camera so that we don't have to. Okay, so, here, there's your hat. Okay, there's your fire. And so, stay on there, darn it. Okay. So, or, I'm not sure what sound that thing would make, and I feel like neither one helps at all. So yeah, On Fire Freddy, that's great. You know what? That's the end of the live stream. We're just stopping right there. It's not going to get better than that. So, all right. So On Fire Freddy and his demon dogs from Neko Toys. And what? NECA. Have I been saying Neko? Oh, okay. Kind of like Necco wafer. Now I want Necco wafers. But I don't have any Necco wafers. And you know what? That sucks. Oh. Yeah. I love to look my victims in the eye. I don't know what that was. So that is, so those are some really beautiful action figures, and not all Jason action figures and not all Jason toys are necessarily really detailed and horrifying. Those certainly are, and they're awesome. But we also have some other examples here. This, in the adorably cute section, this is a minifig Jason from a knockoff. I forget the name of the company. I think that they got shut down. It was one of the many Chinese knockoff companies that have come and gone that make really beautiful minifigs compatible with Lego, and then Lego finds out about it and says, please stop, and then they send lawyers to make them stop. But in the meantime, we get these awesome minifigures that Lego would never ever license. And so I feel like, it's one of those things like, do they really need to stop them from doing that? Because this is great. I guess they don't want parents to be like, hey, you're making minifigs of these terrible characters from these horrible movies that are so violent and they corrupt children's minds and blah, 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 blah. Wow, I'm a parent. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be that way. But the truth of the matter is, historically, parents ruin horror movies. So we're watching you, okay? Nathan Fillion, okay? You're a parent. Don't ruin horror movies. I'm asking, as a friend, don't ruin horror movies, please. Yes, in the words of the Immortal, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff, parents just don't understand. So, and no, I'm not going to do that either. I haven't had nearly enough of this to start doing that, and I couldn't anyway. I don't remember it. I remember the part about the car, but So yeah, this is minifig Jason, and he looks great. And then we also have the reaction Jason, which is done in the style of the old Kenner's toys, kind of like the old Star Wars toys. So what's great about this is you can actually have Jason square off against Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. And I feel like that would go very similarly to Friday the 13th Part 7. Because, they'd be using the Force, and Jason would just keep coming. And eventually, like, Luke would have to use the Force to bring back his corrupted evil father, and then Darth Vader would pull Jason into the lake, and, yeah, what was that? Oh, a lake of lava. Yes. Okay, so Darth Vader would pull Jason into a lake of lava. And then as Jason's being dragged under, you'd hear him scream his first words, "I hate you!" Ah! Oh wait, no. Jason isn't that lame. I remember when Darth Vader was cool. What were you thinking, George? Anyway, I won't make everybody move away from their screens just to talk to George Lucas. We're over that. So yeah, this is the reaction Jason, and you know, it's more amusing than anything else, and the fact that he is in scale with those Star Wars figures, or you're pretty close to G.I. Joe size. So, you know, you could have him, you know, kill some G.I. Joe characters. That would be cool. And you know what? Actually, that just goes to reinforce. So, G.I. Joe and Transformers have a long history of existing in the same universe. They very commonly crossed over in comic books and even in the cartoons. And so if Jason exists in the Transformers universe, that means that Jason also exists in the G.I. Joe universe. And nowhere would this been more obvious than in Jason. Jason Goes to Hell is the one where they ambush Jason, and it is a special ops military team that takes him down. People ziplining down from trees, and an acrobatic woman in a towel that's able to leap over cars and do somersaults. I mean, tell me that wasn't Scarlet or Lady J. Maybe CoverGirl, although, to be honest, she wasn't all that well covered. But still, you know, there's not really a long list of characters to choose from when you're talking about the acrobatic women of G.I. Joe. I guess it could have been Jinx, you know, because she was a ninja. So you have that scene, and then in that scene, you have several. You probably would have had vehicles that were brought. So let's just go ahead and bring out a couple of the Autobots and Decepticons who probably would have been present during that ambush, because you know, they would have been there. They would, you know, at this point, if the Autobots and Decepticons know that Jason exists and that he seems to be an indestructible human, then they're going to be very interested in this. Okay, they're going to want to watch how this plays out, and of course they're going to infiltrate the G.I. Joe Splinter team that is sent to take him down. So we have these vehicles, and this would be the Decepticon contingent, who would have been sent in to help clean up the mess after they blew Jason into many, many pieces, and he transforms into a hazmat vehicle. This is Crankcase from the 2007 Transformers line. He is actually a repaint of Transformers Cybertron Red Alert, and the wiki article calls him a waste of plastic. I don't think that's fair. He's a perfectly serviceable toy. But obviously he would have been there because, you know, you're gonna call in the special guys to clean up those Jason parts. I mean, the heart was still beating. Okay, so you know, you get the special guy, and he comes in I keep wanting to call him Stockade because the other guy was named Stockade, but no, this is Crankcase. Crankcase was originally the name of a trigger con with a gimmick where you press a button on the back and these guns come out. And similarly, you know, he's got a similar color scheme, not a very close color scheme, but similar. And so when you put in the planet key, then these guns come out. And so they, you know, obviously they saw the similarities, figured they could capitalize on the maybe some of the nostalgia, and at the same time keep that name. You know, remember at this point in Hasbro's history, they are doing a lot of characters that have names similar to previous characters that don't necessarily share anything else about them. And so yeah, he has Gen 1 crankcases, loose color scheme, and a very similar gimmick. He also, okay, so this is kind of cool. He has some extra bits stored in the hood of the vehicle that are kind of hard to get out. He's got this little claw thing that can be attached in his robot mode, or a hammerhead which can be attached in the robot mode. And so let's go ahead and let's transform him. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull up this blocky bit that makes up that whole gimmicky feature, because that just kind of locks a lot of stuff into place in the back half of the body. And then we can split the feet. Now the feet transform really, really weird, and while this figure isn't my favorite figure in the world, I will say that this is a very unique way to transform. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull these heels. These are the heels, and they pull out right here. And then you flip these wheels around like this. And then on the front side, you're going to pull out, these are his feet. So he's another one that's a clawfoot design. The clawfoot design was used extensively during the Transformers Cybertron line. And they didn't mess around. It wasn't just a little heel that flipped out. They had big clamshell style feet that made them very stable, although a lot of the figures weren't necessarily very posable. So you take these that way, and you take these down and you split them as well, and then you mate them so each half becomes a leg. And so that's his legs. Now the arms are in here, and we're just going to pull at the sides here, pull them out and away here, and then we're going to, there's a double joint up here in the shoulder, so you just have to articulate both of those, and then you can pull down. He's got a gun hand, and we're going to do the same shoulder trick over on this side just to get that up into position. And then he's got a regular fist over on that side. And now you can give him either this claw thing, which is pretty cool, and we're going to show that on the other cam. So we've got the claw thing that actually is, yeah, that's really cool. I like that. That's really awesome. And of course, these are both gimmicks that are carried over from when this character was Red Alert. And then you've got this hammer, and that's really cool. Yeah, that is really awesome. And so now we can take his back here, and we can put it against the back of the robot, and we can just grab the visor of the head, and we can unsmush it. And now the doors are on these little double hinges, so you can pivot them back further away from the shoulders. And I want to be careful because this translucent plastic is notoriously brittle, so I just want to be careful there. But that is him. Oh, and you've got these little things in the chest that flip down. So there you go. And so, you know, he is not a bad figure. He's kind of chunky, but and you know, you could, if you're not using one of those attachments, you can just leave them right in that secret compartment in the front. So there we go. And so that is him. Let's go ahead and take him over to his to the other camera so that you can get a good look at him. So yeah, obvious repaint, not even done in the style of the movie toys, but to be honest, I don't mind that. Crankcase here. His colors are decent. I like the yellow and blue. I'm not really a big fan of how bland the blue is. I kind of wish that it were just a stronger blue rather than that almost gray blue. And I wish that the yellows were a little bit stronger too. But that being said, the muted colors are consistent with a lot of the characters from the movie line, and so I guess they really did have to try and make it fit, since obviously it's still got the Cybertron Planet Key gimmick. It doesn't look like a movie figure. They didn't do any remolding for this figure. He is a straight up repaint, and I'm going to disagree with the wiki article that called him a waste of plastic, because this is a perfectly serviceable figure. And since he was obviously there to carry the remains of Jason Voorhees, he's important. Now, I'm surprised. Well, it's possible. It is possible that maybe at the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell, they blow him into pieces, and then they collect the pieces. Now, they show the heart continuing to beat after he blows up. But maybe, just maybe, he was in the process of legitimately dying. And who knows, the Decepticons could have infused him with a little bit of Energon or Dark Energon or something like that, just to see what would happen. And the Decepticons are secretly responsible for Jason's continued existence and his reign of terror. So, Stockade may very well... Not Stockade. I keep calling him Stockade. What the hell is this guy's name? It's not Stockade. Crankcase. Crankcase. He cranks... He's got a case. His name is Crankcase. Try and pound that into my head. And oh, by the way, the gun gimmick works in robot mode too. See? So he's got his little guns. So Crankcase may not have been a major player in any mainstream stories, but he is very possibly the reason why Jason still exists today. Yeah. That's truth. I'm laying down some truth on you. And so, yeah, this is a toy that, while, kind of blocky and very weird, I like the unusual transform, and he does not suck. So, let's set crank. Boy, I used to be able to speak. I remember when I could speak. Those were great days. Do you remember that, when I would speak in the English language and you knew that what I was saying? So, Kyoji says, the fact that you can't remember that guy's name kind of sucks, Clay. Well played, sir. Toast to Kyoji. Got some allergies happening. Every time the temperatures change, then my head clogs up. It's a bit of a problem. So, let's set Crankcase aside so that I don't have to try and remember his name anymore. And let's pull out one of the shining stars of the movie line. And this one came out, I think, in 2010. He came out after Revenge of the Fallen. And so technically this is a Revenge of the Fallen vehicle, but he probably had this vehicle mode for several years before that movie took place. So he would have been on site when the G.I. Joe team killed Jason. And this is a character that we actually all know and love. This is Brawn. And this is one of those rare cases where I really like what they did. I really like what they did. First of all, this vehicle is awesome looking. Look at that. His colors are beautiful. He is shiny. He's got a big gun and those lights, and the details on him are excellent. They've got the painted lights and the painted turn signals and the emblem on the side, which looks very, very good. I love the knobby tires. They painted the tail lights. Look at that. That's the kind of stuff that I wish they were still doing now, and for a lot of the figures that we're getting, we're not seeing that kind of extra detail put into it. He's got, I don't know what that is. That is some kind of silver paint, and I don't know what. Wait a minute, is that silver paint? No, that's one of the pieces of foil tape that I was using to fix Psykill. So never mind that. But oh, that's not silver. Oh, that's solder. Okay, so yeah, I've got solder on my toy. So as it turns out, while I was fixing Road Ranger, which I have to talk about that later. I have to show that. I had my side light and I knocked it over, and it's got one of those CFL bulbs in it, a really big fat one that gives me all the light that you see here, the nice bright white light that I have here. And it broke, but the coil didn't break. It wasn't the fluorescent tube that broke. The plastic housing came in half and the wire pulled away from the screw-in part. So I soldered on a new wire and I put it back together and it worked. But in the process, I guess I accidentally dripped solder on this guy here. I've been holding. This is Brawn. Did I say that it was Brawn? Have I? Okay, so this is, in case I didn't say it, this is Brawn, and he looks awesome. I love this vehicle mode for Brawn. It's exactly what if there was a modern take on Brawn, this is what I would expect him to look like. They really, really did a great job of marrying the vehicle mode with the character. Kind of an unusually good homage to that Gen 1 character. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to transform him. And so we're going to start, let's see, we're going to start by pulling these side panels away. And we're just going to extend those out. And see, I even like how that works. I could imagine that that's actually how the doors work. And, I could even probably stuff... Wait a minute, here. I bet that Jason... let's take minifig Jason. I bet that we can stuff Jason in there. Come on, get in there. Get in there. You can do it. Nothing is impossible. Okay, so see? He fits. Almost. Okay, he doesn't quite fit, but he should, and that's what's important. He should fit. So yeah, you pull these up, and we're going to pull the legs down. He's got some heel pieces here. A little bit of a clawfoot design, but he has much bigger front feet than he does heels, and that. which makes him a little less stable, but I think that it probably looks better. I'm willing to have big blocky feet if it means that my toys stand up. I'm just going to throw that out. So we've got these front things here, and then we've got these side panels here, and so just disengage those and move those around there, and then twist those, and now we can straighten up the legs. And then the back half of the vehicle has the arms, and so the whole roof is going to split. And now we're going to take the arm like that and get it out of the way and put this panel behind. And now we're going to take this part of the roof and we're just going to pivot it back this way. And while you're at it, you can even take this side panel. It's on a hinge, and you can fold it around that way. And now you've got an elbow right here. And look at this. He's already holding his pistol. That's great. That is so nicely designed. It's just... It's so good. It is just so good. He transforms, and he's already holding his guns. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to move this out of the way as much as possible. And then I'm going to pivot back this roof piece like that. I'm going to fold open this side panel here. And then I'm going to pivot the whole thing. So here you can see what's happening here. We go back like that, go like that, and then we open the elbow and see this hand is also holding his gun. And now you can take the arms, which are up like that, bring them down and put them into a more relaxed position. And now you can take these wing things and just do this. And you can also take this gun, which was on the top of the vehicle here, and you can flip it around so that it fires from over his head. And there's even like a little scope here. So you can imagine that he's able to do this and look through the scope and aim it, which is pretty darn cool. I mean, that's really, really cool. So, yeah. Oh, and the last thing, of course, we want to swivel at the waist, and the leg's going to pop off because that ball hinge is a little bit loose. There we go. So swivel at the waist, and you have Gen 1 Brawn. Well, he's not Gen 1 Brawn, but a really nice homage to Gen 1 Brawn done in 2010 as part of the Revenge of the Fallen line, but really, really nicely done. And this is one of the things that I really like about the toys that came out during this era that did not appear in the movies. It seems like the designers had a lot more freedom to kind of do whatever they wanted. And you could see that it was kind of a merge of the movie style body with more skinny bits and mechanical bits, but they've kind of toned back on the jiggy jaggy spaghetti face and the unnecessary complexity. This guy looks like something, and that's what I really like about him. He has an identifiable silhouette, and he has a cool presence, and he's very posable, and he has a face that actually looks like a face. In fact, if anything, his face looks a lot like Ant-Man. So it is possible that Brawn is Ant-Man, which would make him part of the Marvel movie universe. Of course, originally the Transformers and G.I. Joe comics were done by Marvel. So it could be stated that since Transformers were part of the Marvel Universe, and Jason and Friday the 13th is part of the Transformers universe, that Jason, Friday the 13th, all exists in the Marvel Universe. See how that's right. I'm standing by it, and it does not suck. So yeah, that is 2010 Brawn. I love this figure, and yeah, it's a movie toy, and I am not a huge fan of the movie toys, but I have to say this is a movie toy done really, really well. I've just discovered that you can rotate these side panels around and kind of put them closer to the hips, and I kind of like that. You know, it works for them. So here, let me show that on the side cam. So yeah, it's just a good-looking figure, a really good-looking figure. Fantastic play value, absolutely fantastic play value. This is a guy that he really fits into any continuity. He doesn't have to be part of the Revenge of the Fallen storyline. He can just be an Autobot, and an Autobot ass kicker. So yeah, that is Brawn. Love this figure, really glad, and obviously he would have been there when they blew up Jason, and probably wanted to try and intercept the parts, but he didn't get the chance because, unbeknownst to him, Decepticon No Name was there and was able to thwart him, because Brawn is a good guy and he's a devoted Autobot, but he's not on the team because of his strategies. He's not the planner. He's the executor. So that's Brawn. He's the guy that you send in to punch stuff, and he's really good at it. So yeah, 2010 Brawn, fantastic toy. Just fantastic toy. See, I have managed to go for like an hour and a half talking about movie toys, Transformers movie toys, and other related stuff, and very little of it have I said sucks. Running out of teeth. We'll have to fix that. So, of course, there were lots more Friday the 13th movies than what we've talked about, and there's a lot of other incarnations of Jason Voorhees that we have not talked about. So let's go ahead. We talked a little bit about the reaction Jason, which you can use with your Star Wars toys, but we've also got this one right here. So this is the Toonie Terrors Jason, and these are pretty recent, and it's sort of a cartoon reimagining of Jason. Obviously, he is part of Transformers Animated, which means that he would have been in the same universe with Wreck-Gar, and everybody knows that Wreck-Gar is secretly Weird Al Yankovic. Okay, it's not even a secret because everybody knows it. He can't. If I said that everybody knows it, it can't be secretly. So yeah, we've got Weird Al Yankovic Jason here, and that means that Jason Voorhees and Weird Al Yankovic exist in the same universe. Obviously. What? Because, obviously the inspiration for Nature Trail to Hell, okay, sure, it was performed by Weird Al Yankovic, but the events of that song were obviously about Jason Voorhees. So, didn't Weird Al appear in the Rob Zombie Halloween movie? It was the second one. The second Rob Zombie Halloween movie was awful. And so I don't remember it. In fact, you know, I think it's fair to say that the second Rob Zombie Halloween movie sucks. So, oh yeah! That's right! You are correct. Monica is correct. We're on this in the second Rob Zombie Halloween movie, which, by the way, the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie kicks ass. I loved that movie. And it had Danny Trejo, and Danny Trejo's like, "I always been good to you, Mikey," and he kills him anyway. Okay, that's how you know that Michael Myers is a dick, because he killed Danny Trejo even though he was always nice to him. So yes, there was a TV clip where Dr. Loomis is, you know, he's become a pompous TV star because of treating Michael Myers and getting famous, and he's on a talk show, and Weird Al Yankovic was on the talk show with him, making fun of him and stuff like that. So, what that means is that since Jason Voorhees exists in the same universe as Weird Al Yankovic, then Jason Voorhees definitely exists in the same universe as Michael Myers, and we can now have Michael versus Jason versus Freddy. Hollywood, get on it! I have now given you justification. In fact, technically, it should be Michael versus Jason versus Freddy versus Al. All right? This is cinema gold. This is what will get people back into theaters. Okay? So start working on this stuff. Get Robert Englund, get Kane Hodder, and most importantly, get Weird Al Yankovic, and we will make Michael versus Jason versus Freddy versus Al. Must happen. Let go. Go Team Retrobot! Let's make this happen! So, yes, all of this segue started because I was showing you the Toonie Terrors Jason. He's not terribly posable. You know, he's got legs that kind of pivot, and he's got a creepy Scooby-Doo zombie-looking arm, and the arm is in a permanent, like the elbow is in a permanently fixed position. It's good that he comes with a machete, but he does seem to be shaving his own head. And he is bald, but I feel like he would only be bald in that one spot because of the way that he's shaving his head. Still, it's a cartoon version of Jason, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, if you need a cartoon Jason to fight with your Transformers animated Wreck-Gar, then you can have it, because there they are. So let's go ahead and set aside the Toonie Terrors Jason and accordion playing Jason that may also be Weird Al Yankovic, because they absolutely exist in the same universe. So let's see. Oh, Machiavellic says, "Yo, Clay, I dare you right now, name all the Star Wars bounty hunters that appear in Empire Strikes Back." I do not know. I do not know. That is one of those Trivial Pursuit questions. I know Boba Fett was there, and other guys. It was Boba Fett and Mickey, Peter, Davy, and Mike, And then John, Ringo, George, and Paul, and Elvis. Yes, those are all of the bounty hunters that appeared in that scene. Tim Kangaroo says no. B. This is a hint. B. Boba Fett. Baba. Boss. Nass. Boska. Bosk. Okay, Bosk. I just came up with Bosk. It's not printed on the screen right here. So, Bosk. Duh. Duh. I don't know these guys. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you. I love Empire Strikes Back, but I have never really dug into like learning the guts. I don't know how many ships were leaving the Death Star when it was blowing up, and I don't know the names of every background character. I'm sorry. I know I should. I have spent my nerd time badly, but Dengar is one of them, and Forlom. IG-88. I did not know that IG-88 was one of them. Okay, see, I know IG-88 from The Mandalorian, but Zugas. So, Bosk, Dengar, Forlom, LG-88, Zugas, IG-88. The LG-88 is a phone that will kill you. Okay, you put it to your head, and then it shoots you through the head, and you die instantly. And then it transforms into a robot, because it is a robot, and it puts itself back in the store so that somebody else can buy it, and the cycle can repeat. So, wasn't that in a movie, a phone that shot somebody? Law-abiding citizen. Did the phone actually shoot? No, didn't it blow up? Like the earpiece blew up or something? Like on the side of her head. Law-abiding citizen is great, by the way. But they did a little bit too good of a job in making me like sympathize with the bad guy. And, you know, they had to put in, he inadvertently kills the pretty lawyer, so that you're like, oh yeah, he is bad, because everybody else that he kills is a dick, and you completely are like with him as he's killing the government, but they killed the pretty lawyer, and then you feel bad. It's like, oh, I guess he's kind of a jerk. It's all fun and games until the pretty lawyer dies. So anyway, so yes, I apologize, Machiavellic, for not being able to name them, but I did name all of the Monkees and the Beatles. Guess that means that I. So. Let's excuse me. Let us go ahead and move a little bit ahead in Jason's timeline, because eventually Jason does go to New York. And so if he's in New York, then there are several guys that are obviously there with him. And that is going to be Barricade and Bumblebee as a New York City taxi cab. So yeah, if Barricade absolutely would have been there, and then Bumblebee. This is the whole reason why this version of Bumblebee exists. Now I realize that this is from the Transformers Prime Special Edition pack. But what they're not telling you in that special edition pack is that the reason Bumblebee was in New York is not for the New York City Comic-Con. It was because they were tracking Jason Voorhees. And so Bumblebee was like, oh, well, I'll disguise myself as a taxi, and then I'll be able to see what he's doing. So yeah, that is why we've got Taxicab Bumblebee, and I have to say that he is the coolest looking taxi cab. I feel like you have to pay extra to ride in this cab because he's pretty cool. He looks sort of like a cross between a Camaro and a Mustang. And I'm just a little bit disappointed because I don't see any Charger in him. I'm very disappointed as a Transformers fan and a Dodge Charger fan that I have not gotten a lot of Charger action from the Transformers. Come on, Hasbro! Give me a 2014 era Charger! Come on! Chop chop! Like, 1 million of those things were made into police cars. Do I get a Dodge Charger version of Barricade? No. It's some other kind of... It's a Celine? It says Celine on the back? What the hell is a Celine? I don't know. It's not a Dodge Charger, and that's what's wrong with Barricade. Dare I say, that kind of sucks. Oh, I'm getting a finger. Not the one you think. Everybody, we have a very friendly relationship, me and my wife. But Ford Celine. Yeah, a Ford Celine Mustang. So, okay, Ford Celine Mustang. I guess putting a Mustang against a Camaro is pretty fitting in terms of car stuff. So, the Mustang versus Camaro. But come on, Charger! I have a 2014 Dodge Charger, and let me tell you, every time I arrive somewhere in it, my friends tell me they thought a cop was pulling up. It's great! So, anyway, I said sucks. So, let's, we were talking about Bumblebee, talk about both of them pretty much, but let's start with Bumblebee. This is from Transformers Prime, and I'm just going to tell you, this was unusually difficult to get into car mode, and I'm making a real sacrifice turning it into a robot for you, because this was a challenge. Let's go ahead and we're going to walk through this process. And usually, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Okay? Does everybody want to hear a secret? So, when I've got toys, like this one, that are more complicated, sometimes you might notice that those toys will start out in vehicle mode at the beginning of the live stream. There's a reason for that. It's because going from vehicle mode to robot mode is typically a lot easier than going from robot mode to vehicle mode. Because with the vehicles, you have to get everything in the right order because stuff gets in the way in order to get it into its final shape. But to get it into robot mode, you pretty much just have to loosen all the parts and fiddle with them enough to manage to squeeze the arms and legs out into a position where the robot can stand up. So, yes, that's a pro tip right there for anybody that wants to shoot videos or live streams or ever wants to impress somebody with how well, oh, this is something that okay, pull this on your friends. Get a really complicated transformer, one that takes you like 45 minutes to get into vehicle mode, like in alternators. And then what you do is you start out in vehicle mode and then you turn it into a robot and then you hand it to your friend and say, go ahead and put it back into a vehicle. I just showed you how to do it. It's great. It is great. You will make them so mad, and they will end up handing it back to you. And see, that's where the joke turns against you. You have to have an out. Make sure that somebody can call you and say that your mother's dying or something like that. But yeah, because you don't want to then have to turn it into a robot while they're watching, because you do that later, and then you show them, yeah, I got it back to a car, it's no problem. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do this. So we're gonna start by disengaging the legs, and we're going to drop those down here. We're going to pull, so the roof splits, and there's some complicated joints that happen in here. And so we're going to split those, and then we're going to turn it over. And now you see where this little piece is actually pegged into the door. Those split right there. So we've got that. And now let's go ahead and deal with the feet. So you can take the foot like that and do that. And and the feet almost transform themselves. You just pull like that, and you see how it just gets, the heels come out, and the whole back end just transforms itself by pulling the foot down. It's so that's something that it does. Let's adjust the camera a little bit so you can see what's going on. Okay, now this is where things get fidgety. So we need to pull these out. Now the arms are behind him here, and getting them stuffed up there it is kind of jiggy, but you can get it. So we bring the arms forward here, almost like he wants to carry some lumber for you. You just stack the 2x4s in his arms right there. And this is it. This is his robot mode. See here, wait, can we turn the head around? No, we can't turn the head around. That's too bad. No, that's not it. So now we also have this bit right here. So put the arms back down. He's not carrying lumber. Why did you do that? So we're going to put the arms above this chest piece and get that out of the way. And now we can take these things. See, these are a long, multi-hinged contrivance here. And believe it or not, this is the forearm. It's just a really unusually complicated forearm. And I do respect the engineering, because that's actually really impressive. But it folds around like that to make his arm. And then you can fold it out like that. And now he's got his shoulder. So let's go ahead and do this on the other side. And then we fold it out like that. So now we need to deal with the head and the chest. So this chest is in many pieces. And we're going to spread them out. And now we need to kind of disengage here. So the center section kind of lifts up like this. And now the whole thing is going to spin around like that. And then this front section, this little piece of grill, is also going to spin around, and that reveals the head. And so now we can flip up this chest piece, swing this stuff down, and then we're going to kind of get things to line up here. Now, let's see. Believe that, does that go like that? I think. No, that doesn't go like that. I'm doing it wrong. I believe that it actually does. Pretty sure that these little hooks here latch on to the to these fender pieces right here. Oh, wait, here, I'm seeing a thing. Okay, so I need this to disengage, if I can get it to disengage. Maybe I can get it to disengage. There we go. Okay, so there's, I think that this goes down like that, and then does something come forward? I want to say that something comes forward. So I don't know how that goes. It's so bad. I just told you that it's easier to get him into robot mode, and it's hard. And let me tell you, it took me like 45 minutes to get this guy to be a taxi cab. And now I'm struggling getting his chest. There's like a million bits here. So here, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to close the roof panels so that he's just got door wings. And then I'm going to spread out the arms. We are like 90% of the way there. And we've just got these hooky bits, which maybe they don't hook onto anything, but I feel like they're supposed to. They look like they're supposed to. It looks like there's notches in there. Oh, okay, so here, I can push down the center. All right, that's what I was missing. So I push down the center, and then I push back. So I push back on that center panel, and now I can take the fenders, and I can click them in. And I can pivot the shoulders this way, like that, and position the arms. And what we have now is a Bumblebee, a Transformers Prime Bumblebee. Oh wait, here his chest is still fighting me. It's wanting to do weird things. There we go. There we go. He's got odd shoulders. The jointing on this is really, really weird. There. Okay. And he's got that Transformers Prime kind of stature where he's a brawler. And yeah, that is him. Not bad. This toy is unnecessarily complex, and to be honest, while he's got an impressive transform, and I love what they did with the shoulders, overall he's just so fidgety, and he's also very lightweight. You know, he feels like he's made of thin plastic. He feels a little bit insubstantial. And it's a shame. That's something that's indicative of a lot of the Transformers Prime toys. It had a great show, but the toys were made cheap. They were just made cheap. And it wasn't that they were cheaply engineered. The engineering is impressive. And the detail is impressive, but they're just so thin. The parts are thin and delicate and kind of complicated, and it kind of makes them not a lot of fun to play with. And that's really the problem. Oh, Grayscale is here! So, a toast to Grayscale! So, Grayscale, just to catch you up, we have established that the Transformers movies and the Friday the 13th movies exist in the same universe, which means that Transformers and Jason Voorhees exist in the same universe, which means that Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Weird Al Yankovic and Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers all exist. in the same universe, and now we've just tied Transformers Prime to Jason Goes to New York. So, yes, that's what we're doing tonight because it's Friday the 13th. So, oh, I'm getting a message from my producer. Machiavellic wants to know if that one is the same as the mainline Prime Bumblebee. It is not. When it first came out, I thought that these were the same mold, and they are not. This is Transformers Prime Bumblebee, and his engineering is distinctly different. You know, now they do unfortunately share that same very, very light feel, you know, kind of insubstantial. And you can see that the parts are kind of, you know, very thin. It's just, you know, you can see how the wheels were done. Yeah, he's, you know, not a bad mold, but just very, very lightweight and fidgety and overcomplicated in places. And I think that comes a little bit from... In Transformers Prime, what they seem to be trying to do is create some kind of a merging of the hideous Bay-style Transformer aesthetic and the normal Transformers aesthetic. You know, they kind of tried to bridge the gap a little bit between the movies and the main line. And what you ended up with, you had the Mech Alive feature, which was a gimmick that made parts automatically transform, which worked in some places but not so well in some others, and made for some kind of complicated designs. And some toys like, you know, I can see through this guy. Hello, I can see you. Look, you're right there. And so I loved Transformers Prime as a series. And because I loved the series, I really have an attachment to the toys, but it's not a line that I collected heavily because the toys were just unimpressive. I got the Cliff Jumper toy when it first came out, the zombie Cliff Jumper toy. And it fell apart in my hands, and I actually took it back. I don't return Transformers. It has to be really bad for me to return it, but it was so cheaply made. I felt ripped off. Frankly, I just felt ripped off. So, yeah, and beyond the, you know, beyond the connection to the characters of that story, the designs are, you know, Bay light, which, you know, there are better incarnations of these characters. So if you are not you know, really attached to the Transformers Prime storyline, then you probably have no reason to need to collect the Transformers Prime toys. That's the sad truth of it. If you want to collect them because you want to have a piece of that story, which was great, then more power to you. I'm not going to fault you for that. But if you are just a toy enthusiast and you like Transformers and you like to get the ones that are good, Transformers Prime, not the best toys. There are a lot of better toys out there. So, I'm going to set those aside. Oh, yeah, there's also a blaster that you can put on Bumblebee that doesn't seem to have a home in his vehicle mode. I haven't looked at the instructions. Maybe there's a secret place to put it, but considering how hard it was to mash all those parts inside his body panels, I don't even want to try. So that is Transformers Prime Bumblebee as the New York Comic Con exclusive because Jason went to New York. So that brings us to Barricade. This is Barricade from 2007's Bayformers movie, and this is pretty faithful to the movie character. He comes with a frenzy that comes out of the grill. Yes, there you have it. That is what we all remember about Barricade. And that was probably the most coherent line spoken by any Decepticon in that movie. So it comes with just...
Get off that grandmama's carpet! She don't like nobody on the carpet, especially police!
You know, that is truth, okay? We do not want police on the carpet. So it comes with this movie-accurate version of Frenzy, this contrivance that's named Frenzy. This is not Frenzy. This is an assemblage of parts that's meant to look weird, and apparently it gets off on stealing data because it kind of orgasmically lurches in the movie, because of course. Frenzy as a boombox was a better Frenzy, but even that didn't look like Frenzy. You know, it's yeah. I've waited for years to get the toys and the characters that I grew up with in a live action motion picture, and then this is what I get. This is what I got for Frenzy. Yeah. So, thank you for that. Yeah. This. But it does pop out of his chest, sort of like Soundwave. So there's that. So yeah, we can just plug this hideous thing right back in there, and try to forget about that. Is that right? No, maybe that's it. There. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So that there he's in there now. So now you'll see that this does have the to punish and enslave, which I really like that. I think that's clever. I won't give that movie a lot of credit, but that's actually pretty cool. And of course we got the Decepticon police logo, which is awesome. If I can get it to focus in, there we go. So look at that. That is really that's great. The details on the vehicle are very well done. I mean, this is a really nice car mode. And so despite the fact that the movie was an utter disappointment, it is a nice vehicle, and it's a nicely done vehicle, and the quality of the toy itself is very well done. You have to give them credit where credit is due, because that is a really, really nicely done vehicle. I just wish that it were a Dodge Charger. Why wasn't it a Charger? Okay, I'll digress. I digress. So let's go ahead and let's turn this guy into a guy. And he's got a very interesting transform. It is a little bit wacky. You've got arms that go on forever with this guy. And so the first thing that we need to do is just kind of disengage some clipped in bits. So I'm going to pull at the fenders. There we go. And when you pull up the sides here, you can disengage both side panels. And that's another thing. Okay, it's all well and good that you've got all of your fancy schmancy electronic noises, and they are fine, but the Transformers make a very specific sound when they transform, and we got it once in that movie. There we go. That's the noise. That's the noise. How? Okay. Everybody, I'm sorry. Everybody, just... You probably need a pee break anyway. So take a step away from the screen.
Transformers will return after these messages.
Michael Bay, come here. If you're not going to make characters that look like any of the characters from the franchise, and you're not going to have stories that relate in any way to the stories from the history of the franchise, you know, that the history that at the time that you did this movie had been going on for like 30 years. You know, there's a lot of content there to choose from. If all your and if there's a really, really well-known, well-established, iconic sound that you're only going to use once so that people know that this is the franchise that you belong to, just don't use the franchise. Just don't use the franchise. If you want to make a movie about big robots that change shape and fight, then call it Bay's Big Dumb Robots That Fight and leave my childhood out of it. If you're going to do a franchise movie, see, this is the thing. If you're going to do a movie that's part of an existing franchise, then you do have a little bit of an obligation to capture the spirit of that franchise. Not just say, oh, well, none of this was cool until I got involved, so, yeah, it's all out the window. Oh, we'll throw them a nod. We'll give them a 1 second of the noise that they remember, and that's been being used not just in the show, but even in the toys for the last 3 decades. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Return to the Transformers.
Kyoji says, amusingly, there's now a G1 style Barricade in the War for Cybertron trilogy line, a Cybertron mode version for Siege, and an Earth-based one for Earthrise. Yes, Barricade is the breakout star, and that's one of the things that I will say is one of the cool things about Transformers as a line. It reinvents itself every few years, and as a fan, if you can't accept that the line is going to be reinvented every few years, then you're in the wrong fandom. I actually don't have a problem with it being reinvented because it keeps things fresh. And every now and then you have these characters that are completely new for that line that become popular, and then they get pulled in and retroactively become part of every other incarnation through fan fiction and homage toys and you know, revisits to previous lines and things like that. And so we just happen to have the War for Cybertron Siege version of Barricade, and he looks great. This is an amazing toy. I love this toy. Look at it. Just look at it. And see, this is a retool. It might be just a straight up repaint, but I know that I don't know if it has even a different face, but I know that most of it is just repainted from Prowl from the Siege line, who honestly was pretty bland. And I saw that toy in the stores, and I was not impressed, so I did not buy it. It just didn't look cool. The headlights were painted silver on white, and it was just very white and very clear and just bland. But Barricade here, that iridescent indigo, is just amazing. I mean, it glows in my hands. And this vehicle mode, in the black especially, just looks awesome. I mean, this is a cool looking futuristic car. Possibly one of the coolest futuristic cars that they've done in the series. Because, let's be honest, quite often when they do Cybertronian vehicle modes, they use that as an excuse to come up with stuff that's just kind of dumb looking. Oh, Wheelie, I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. No, I wasn't talking about you, Wheelie. You're cool. So, yeah, let's go ahead and continue transforming Barricade. But then we're going to transform the other one so that you can see him in his vehicle mode, and we can compare these guys side by side. So we got the legs here, and they do a thing like that, and here we can actually get a little bit more of, he's always going to have that alien leg that kind of has the thigh thrusted forward, and then almost like a bird style leg. And then we've got the feet down there, and now we've got the arms here, and we need to split the hood here. And so this is a little bit fidgety. Let's go ahead and put down the hood, or the roof, and then we're gonna slide the side panels. There we go. And now we need to push the head up, and then we bring, so there's a double hinge here, so the whole body just kind of goes back, and then there's some slots there that allows it to slot in. There we go. And so this, and of course he's got this spring-loaded action on the arm that does this, so that he can have an even longer arm. I guess it's the long arm of the law, right? I apologize to everyone, I'm sorry. And then we can dip the top of the shoulder there. And this doesn't like to stay there, but that's what it does. And then we can kind of do that. And he's got a thumb thing, so there we go. This is movie Barricade. And let's get him in focus. So pretty accurate for the most part to the movie toy. He's dynamic. I will give him that. The long alien jaggedy arms are very threatening. And the kind of, again, as we talked about earlier, a lot of the Bayformer designs give them kind of shorter legs and longer arms to make them look more alien. And so there he is. I got him to stand up. That's important. Come on. Oh, there we go. So he's got there. We can spread out the hip joints. So that is Barricade from the 2007 movie. And he absolutely would have been in New York when Jason was in New York, potentially stopping Bumblebee from being able to save too many of his potential victims. So, and there's another twist for the Transformers Friday the 13th Marvel Universe. So, okay, so for comic book fans, this has happened. Transformers My Little Pony. Now, I will say that there is kind of they're dropping through universes. It's not a they already exist in the same universe thing. So I will say that My Little Pony does, at least this incarnation of My Little Pony does not exist in the Michael Bay universe. But because you did have in, I think it was the third one, where they discovered Transformium, or was that the fourth one? I don't know. Continuity doesn't matter in the Bay universe anyway. They did have a Transformium that transformed from a Pinkie, I think it was a Pinkie Pie, into a gun. Now, it was a plush Pinkie Pie, so... Oh, it was plastic? Oh, big plastic. But whatever the case. It was a big Pinkie Pie. So, that universe is aware of My Little Pony as a property. But what they don't realize is that there is a My Little Pony universe that if they had a magic mirror, they could get to. So, yeah, that's part of... So, Jason Voorhees could potentially find his way to a magic mirror and end up in the My Little Pony universe. It could happen. Because friendship is horror. So there we have movie Barricade, and he's a little bit hard to play with because of his kind of gangly and odd joints. As characters go, I am not really a big fan of the jaggedy, spaghetti-faced alien look of the Bayformers. And this is a case where a lot of the Transformers toys that were made based off of characters that appeared in the movies were just not very good. He's fine as a representation of the character in the movie. He's a good representation of the character in the movie. But he's ugly and he's hard to get into cool poses. You don't have an elbow joint that can swivel out. You've got a ball joint on the shoulder. These sticky outy bits kind of get in the way. He's just hard to play with, and he's not really attractive in robot mode. And this spring thing doesn't lock in unless you keep the arm completely rigid at his side, and even that is, we're gonna try and. So there, I can. So as long as I keep his spring-loaded arm straight, then he doesn't have like the thing. But as soon as you crack the elbow, which I guess is a cool play feature. Well, okay. I'm trying here. I'm really trying. Let me see if I can get it to go off in a cool way. Wait here. Oh, okay. So now it's. I don't know. Well, wait. There's a little trigger thing here. No, there isn't. Okay, so there's maybe here. Come on, do it in a cool way. Do it in a cool way. Darn it. So. Oh, it was Rainbow Dash. But she looked plush. Oh, like a carnival, like a carnival prize. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I can't get it to go up. Okay, well, at least, okay, you know what? I was wrong. He can bend his elbow, and it can click in, and there's some way to make it go. I don't know how to make it go. So that's movie Barricade, and he is what he is. But let's look at the successor to the name. So we're just going to set him aside here and hope that he stands up. You can stand up. You can do it. There you go. And let's take a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Prime Barricade. And we can take the guns off here. And if we want to, we could just stick them in here, because they're going to end up on his shoulders. So you can do that, or we can just take them off. His transform is pretty straightforward, but still interestingly done. So we've got, once again, we're going to disengage the click together parts. He has doors. Okay, and I love it when they have doors as part of the transform, because it makes you able to imagine that somebody could get inside there. Now, obviously, there's a lot of robot part inside there, so you're not going to get anybody in there, but I still like that the door's open. And we're going to pull the legs out like this, just like that. In a lot of ways, he reminds me of a Gen 1. Yeah, in the way that the feet and the legs transform, except of course they didn't have ball joints back then. And then you've got the arms, and since they've got better proportions now than they did back in the Gen 1 days, then his arms go down beside him rather than being able to kind of fold up with themselves. And then we've got that little panel there. We've got this thing here, and wait here. This is going to do a thing. We're going to spin the head around, and actually, wait here. I think I'm trying to remember how this panel goes, because there's a thing happening here. So that has to go through. Oh yeah. Okay, so this goes behind the head here, which is really kind of cool, and then the whole thing can drop down, and now this panel kind of bulks up the midsection and plugs in there. And now we rotate the arms, we pivot at the waist, and boom, we have a Barricade for a new generation. And I'll just go ahead and give him his shoulder guns, which you can also have in there. You could even like do that. So he has multiple places where he can have his guns. And I keep accidentally collapsing his heels, which I guess could be considered a little bit of a design flaw. But he looks so cool, I just want to forgive it. His colors look fantastic. The purple makes it. The purple absolutely makes it. He's fully posable. He's got great proportions. He's got great weapons. He's got great posability. I mean, he is a really cool figure. Yeah, that seems to be a straight-up repaint of Prowl. That is definitely Prowl's face, just with Barricade colors. But honestly, it works. I'm totally willing to buy that Barricade is just a slightly more evil version of Prowl. I know that. So for fans of the IDW comic books, you will know what I'm referring to. They really brought Prowl into his own when they made him very, very morally gray. And he was cold and calculating, and half the time he was working against the mainstream Autobots, usually in the cause of a greater Autobot cause determined by him, but still against the goals of the other Autobots because he felt that he knew better. And he was a dick. He was just a straight up dick. And he was really interesting as a straight up dick. For a long time, he was the head of Devastator, and the Constructicons loved him, and that was just weird. So yeah, IDW did a lot with Prowl's character. They have since rebooted the storyline, and now the stories are taking place far in Cybertron's past, and they really haven't committed to whether any of the stories that took place before the reboot are still canon, or whether, they've kind of implied that this is just a clean slate and they're not, stuff is not necessarily, they're not necessarily writing the history of the stories that they did before. But whatever the case, we haven't seen a lot of Prowl being a dick, but he is still very much Prowl. He is still very much a by-the-numbers, tough guy, cop character that a lot of people don't like on Cybertron. So I think that they're kind of sticking with the dick thing, but maybe not as hard as they did before. Or maybe they're, leaving room for the story to kind of evolve him into the dick that we know and love. Nonetheless, I can absolutely see this Barricade as being a slightly more evil version of Prowl, and I think that he works. And who knows? Maybe Barricade is probably a less evil Decepticon, whereas Prowl is more a more evil Autobot. I don't know. But whatever the case, put these guys side by side. And, I look at this and I compare it to this. Obviously, this is the origin of the character. There's no way that you can deny that the first appearance of Barricade is this guy right here. But boy, I like this one. This one's just better. I mean, come on, it looks better. It's cooler. It's got the cool iridescent purples, and he actually looks like a dude, and I can relate to him, and he's not got a spaghetti face or Freddy Krueger hands or whatever. He's just better. It's just better. So, yeah. We are at half an hour, maybe cover the Gachapon, is that right? Gachapon masks and part 6 Jason. So let's move on here. I'm gonna set these guys aside, and so let us go ahead and take a look at our last Jason Voorhees. Now, this is also from NECA, and this is the Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason. And you can see that in this incarnation, he has stolen a belt that has a machete and a hunting knife and some fishing gear, I think. Because if he gets tired of killing people, he might want to get a trout. So one of the things that I think is very interesting about Jason as a character is that while he doesn't say anything, and a lot of people would just expect that means that he is mindless. He is not mindless. He may be a kind of a force of nature in terms of just being a death bringer and that being his only function, but he is not mindless. He uses tools. He is actually very fond of using tools. He likes to trade up, and I'm going to adjust the light here so that we can get a little bit more light on him. So let's go ahead, and the detail on these NECA figures is just fantastic. I mean, the colors look great. The textures look great. They've got joints in here, but they try to disguise them as best as they can and not make them super obvious. We've got blood splatter on the pant legs. You look at how they've frayed the boots, and you can even see the stitching in the seam in the pants. The wrinkle effects are fantastic. The stitching on the hunting knife is really, really beautifully done. That pouch looks like it's leather. This shirt looks like it's wet. Jason is often wet. He's always like coming out of lakes or lumbering through a rainy downpour. So the kind of stuck to his back and stuck to his legs wrinkles of wet fabric really work. The blood stains in the chest, just beautiful. Of course, you can take out the machete. Oh, I knocked off his mask. Let's see if we can get the machete into his hand. Well, it can probably get into this hand. So, and his mask. Oh, his mask is down here. So here. The mask is removable, and it's a good-looking mask. And then look at that. I mean, that is something special right there. Look at that. Don't you just want to take him home and invite him to your parents' house and say, "Look, Mom and Dad, this is what COVID does to you. This is what I've been warning you about. Why won't you believe me?" Except Jason always wears masks. That's true. Yeah, see, Jason, unlike a lot of our parents, always wears his mask. So, he may want to spread death, but he wants to be the instrument of that death. He's not trying to make people sick. He wants people to stay healthy so that he can murder them. Oh, you're right. I am absolutely getting a warning about the content of this live stream, and they're probably going to shut it down really soon. So, but nonetheless, yeah, these figures are works of art. And this is something that I will say, especially with these super detailed, super accurate toys, the NECA toys especially. They are art. Yes, they're action figures. Yes, they are based off of horror movies, which are regarded by some as the lowest bar of cinema entertainment. But let me tell you, for the people that care about these characters, that enjoy these movies, that are passionate about this subject matter, this stuff is beautiful. And it really is. It really is beautiful. The art that goes into the sculpts of these things and the designs of these things is undeniable. And the people that are making these things are masters of their crafts, deserving of the same kind of respect that you would give any artist creating something more abstract, more timeless. Because if the purpose of art is to create things that have meanings to the people that view it, mission accomplished. This stuff works. It means something. It gives us a place to retreat to. It gives us a world where the horrible things to be scared of are so absurd that we can laugh at them. And we can kind of take a break from the far more scary things that are really happening in real life. So, yeah. NECA, my hat's off to you. And, you know, to all these toy designers who give us things like this. And you know, things like this. And, you know, even things like this. So, let's, you Sajippy, you should, oh, that's different, talk about Night Ranger. Okay, so, let's go ahead and to wrap up Friday the 13th, and this kind of brings us right back to where we were in the beginning. Last night's live stream sucked. It just sucked. And you know, I don't like it when I do a live stream that sucks, but I'm just gonna own it. It sucked. And so during the live stream, I was showing GoBot Night Ranger here, and one of his arms broke off completely, and the other one, I could tell that the shoulder joint had cracked while converting him. And it's because I was trying to move the arms in a way that they weren't intended to go. Damn it. So of course, I couldn't leave him like that. So I did fix him, and I just wanted to share a little bit of the repair with him. And oh, do you have the link to the Instagram? Can I view that on? Oh, you haven't put it up? Okay, so I did take pictures of this repair, and we're gonna probably put it on Instagram at some point here. But here he is. And so you can see that this is his motorcycle mode, and even looking at it, I know what I'm looking for to see where the repairs are that I made. But I bet that most of you probably can't tell offhand what I did. So these, you know, it's right around these shoulder joints. This is what broke. The loop around here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn him into a robot here, very delicately, being very careful. So we'll just disengage those knee joints, and then open up the legs. There we go. And then this rotates a little bit more. They both kind of do this thing where they kind of pull out. There we go. And so that makes the legs. And then the arms spread out like this. We take the motorcycle wheel right here, and we flip that around and plug it into the chest until it snaps. And so here's where I went wrong. And if you have Night Ranger, what you need to do is you need to drop these joints down, and you can move the arms in a little, but they're going to go like that. Don't try to push them any closer to the body, because the way this joint is designed, it is not designed to go closer to the body. So, and then we can go like that. Now, I, of course, didn't really like that. I wanted to have a more natural joint. So what I did was I have filed away, as I was doing reconstruction on these joints, I filed away, and I also did a little bit of trimming on the inside of the arm here. And so between those two things, I have allowed these arms to go to pivot a lot more on that joint than they were originally intended to. So the way that I fixed this, because you'll see that those loops are now complete. You don't even see a crack in there. So what I did was I drilled little holes through the joint from here. So right in there, you can sort of see the remnants of the hole that I drilled in, and then I filed a groove all the way around. And this was after, the first thing I did was I glued the pieces that broke off back on. I took the arms out, glued those pieces back on, and let them sit overnight. And then I filed a groove all the way around that piece, and I did it on both sides. And then I used a needle and thread, and I looped blue thread through here about 4 or 5 times, and then I glued it in with super glue. And then I filled it in with a little bit of baking soda. And you can see, so you see how there's kind of a dark stripe? That's because the color thread that I used was a little bit of a darker blue than the surrounding plastic. And then I filled it in with a little bit of baking soda and glue, and I sanded everything down back to the original surface. And then I just touched it up with a light blue marker. And so now my Night Ranger is back in one piece, and he's looking really good. I'm really, really happy with how this repair turned out. And I felt terrible last night. I mean, it's like I do these live streams because I love these toys, and breaking them while I'm showing them off, it's this horrible combination of feeling like this wave of panic that happens when you break a 30-plus-year-old toy, and the embarrassment of doing it on camera in front of an audience. That sucks. But, and that's a Friday. That is an unlucky event, okay? Last night was an unlucky event. But the silver lining is that if you have broken toys, and it seems like it's broken in a place that you're just never going to be, because honestly, super glue is great for something that isn't going to face dynamic stress. But if you have it on a little joint like this, where every time that you move him, every time you touch him, every time you transform him, you're putting dynamic stress on these joints, then just gluing the joint, it's never going to hold up. But by doing things like giving the glue something to bond to, which I have used paper, I have used thread, I have used screws, I've used all sorts of other materials to get these things to actually bond, and because of that, I can get nice solid bonds, and I can fill it in, and I can make it look like the original plastic, and I can actually make those joints stronger than they were originally. And so I guess the reason why I'm telling you this is so that you know that you don't have to feel horrified or afraid if your toys break. And if you ever do have a broken toy and you don't know what to do to fix it, feel free to reach out. I am happy to make recommendations, and I can show you techniques, and I'll be glad to help in any way I can, because being able to take a guy that's as cool as this and keep him whole, that's important. That's a job that needs doing. And unfortunately, my camera just does not want to focus, no matter how much I try to prompt it to. So, so I just wanted to show people Night Ranger is back in one piece, and he's looking great, and he's fully functional. And so my Thursday the 12th curse, it seems to be lifted. And the other thing is that we've managed to get through this whole live stream without my Verizon Fios going, boobs up. I'm trying to think of the nice way of saying that. Pear-shaped, yes. So, we had that happen. Our internet just went out. And so, last night was rough. So, that's it. Is there anything else that we really have to cover? Next week, we should do Devastator Part 1. Gen 1. Well, we talked about Gen 1 Devastator in a previous live stream, didn't we? I don't know. We're doing something Devastator related, and we'll figure out what it is. It'll be something. It's gonna be something. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. I'm out of booze. So thank you, everyone, for coming to join us on a Friday night. This has been a lot of fun. I'm not. Oh, wait. You know what? One thing that I do want to shout out, okay? Because Osaka Jack, this is something that Weird Al Yankovic is actually wearing one of these these are the Gachapon. These are from Gachapon machines, and these are little keychain Jason masks from Japan, and they were sent to us by Osaka Jack. And so I've got one here on Weird Al Yankovic action figure, and then we've got they come in these really cute little bubble things, and we've got the Sackhead, which also we've got one of those on my drink. This is Sackhead Jason mask. It's creepy that it only has one eye hole. I think that was a nice artistic choice on the part of the movie makers, because like anybody could do two eye holes. Having one, that's unsettling. And so we got we got another one here, and then we've also got Predator. Let's go ahead and show. Or no, this is Jason X. Sorry. It looked, at first glance, it looked like a Predator mask. I know. But you know what? If you give me another 20 minutes, I'll find a way to link those too. So this is a Jason X mask. And this is Baghead Jason. And this is Jason Hockey Mask. And, these are really cool. And I wanted to get a chance to show these off, and also to thank Osaka Jack for sending them to us from Japan, because That's amazing. You went above and beyond the call of duty on that, and we really, really appreciate it. So I didn't want to let the live stream go by without giving a great big shout out. And everybody, let's give a toast to Osaka Jack, who I don't think that he's here tonight. We haven't seen him tonight. So Osaka Jack, I hope that you watch this on video later, but a big, big shout out. Thank you so much, everybody. Toast Osaka Jack for sending us Jason masks from Japan. And that being the case, let's just go ahead. I'm gonna put these back in the bubbles, and I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Friday night, this Friday the 13th. And I cannot get. Oh wait, that's because it already has that one in it. Okay, I'm really good at this. I'm good at multitasking. I can get things into little baubles and speak at the same time. I just can't speak about anything other than getting things into little baubles. So, thank you, Machiavellic. Thank you, Joy. Happy birthday, Amanda. Again, happy birthday to Amanda. Thank you, Ty Guy. Thank you, Colleen. And thank you, Nathan Fillion. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Tim Kangaroo. And thank you, Grayscale. And of course, thank you, Kyoji. Thank you all for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest horror fan. That's really Monica's shtick. But this one was a lot of fun because, you know, we learned things tonight. Things that we never knew were important, but are. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And please, if you haven't already, give this thumbs ups if you've had a fun time, and tell your friends and your family about, you know, Retrobot and stuff, and subscribe and like and all that internet gobbledygook that I don't really understand, but I'm doing it anyway. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone!